So in the novel, A Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, Basil Hallward paints a picture of his beautiful friend Dorian Gray. For his friend Lord Henry from Oxford to convince Dorian that youth is the only thing worth having, and for him to become so jealous of the painting that he wishes that all of his sins and age go to the painting instead of to him. Dorian becomes so infatuated with his own beauty that he becomes a liken to the painting and looks at it quite often every single day. As Dorian and Lord Henry begin to spend more time together, Lord Henry realizes how impressionable and unknowledgeable Dorian is about the world and insists on teaching him all of his cynical and biased understandings and knowledge. Dorian soon falls in love with a poor actress named Sybil Vane, who he sees in a play, and is so infatuated by her that he proposes to marry her. However, when he brings his friends to come see her perform, she acts so horribly that his heart is broken and he calls off the marriage. Later he finds out that she's killed herself, and when he goes back home and sees his painting, it looks as though there's some cruelty in the mouth and that it has changed. At this he is horrified and goes to cover up the painting and hide it from everyone. However, Dorian quickly gets over the death of Sybil, and due to the influence of Lord Henry, can often be seen at dinners and parties and out with friends. However, Dorian's reckless lifestyle soon catches up to him, and upon the confrontation of his dear old friend Basil, he becomes so frustrated about this and all the rumors that are being spread about him that upon letting Basil see his portrait, he murders him in cold blood in his home. To cope with the grief, Dorian can often be found doing drugs such as opium in dens around town. Upon hearing Dorian's plain name that his sister used to call him by of Prince Charming in one of these opium dens, James Vane comes and tries to kill Dorian to avenge his sister's death, but is deterred by his age and thinks that he is the wrong man. After James Vane is killed in a freak accident, Dorian is still plagued with guilt and fear and discerns that the only thing that can rid him of this is by destroying the painting. Upon doing so, he kills himself instantly, and all of his former beauty goes to the painting, and all of his wickedness is seen with him on his deathbed. Set in the Victorian era, a lot of the ideals were based off aesthetics. No, not quite these kind of aesthetics, but a little bit more like this. This novel focuses mainly on the value of youth and beauty while posing the question of, are selfishness and vanity the sole drivers of the Victorian period? Well, Mr. Dorian Gray is very heavily influenced by this and becomes absorbed in being young and beautiful. It is not apparent that people in society who are older are less respected, such as the Duchess or Lord Henry Wotton. While the mirror in the end is ultimately broken, it does not really signify the end of vanity as a sin. By breaking the mirror, it merely only weakens the temptation for it and the availability. However, it does not eradicate it fully. For that, there needs to be cleansing of the soul, and it is obvious that Dorian was not up to doing so, and therefore he suffered the consequences in the end.